Yo, what's good, everybody? Today I'm gonna just be telling y'all my opinion on the Anime Adventures update 19.5 that just released many hours ago. I woke up like 2-3 hours ago, trying out the updates, seeing what it was like, and I feel like I've made my opinion on it after checking out the updates, seeing the units, how they're looking like, the content, and everything that was added. I feel like I have enough information that I need to make a video of my thoughts and opinions on this update. So before I get into that, I want to say that if you guys do enjoy this video and want more anime adventures content, it would mean a lot if y'all could like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and join my Discord down in the description because I'm going to be doing many giveaways once I reach 2,000 subscribers. So make sure y'all join my Discord so y'all don't miss those giveaways. So let's hop the app and let's get into the video. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the wait for the update. It's like 5 weeks, which is a little bit over a month for this update. The content that was given to us for this wait, in my opinion, is very lackluster. We didn't get much. We got a raid, we got a new event, and we got like 5 new units, I think. The contract event, which is the event itself that was added, where the contracts, you get the contracts and then you spend them on the new event banner, and you know, that's how you get the new that's how you get most of the mythic units. You get one of the other units from the raid. There was a new raid added, the Spider Forest raid. But in general, most of the content is from the new events, and the gameplay itself of the update, I'm not gonna lie, is very difficult. If you don't have a unique, or if you don't have multiple uniques, you are kind of cooked, which is really tough to say, because my favorite thing about this game when I initially played it was that the game was hard. You had to do with more people, and it was just very fun to me, right? But it gets to a point where even if you do play with other people, there's some things that the game coulda, or the devs coulda easily added to make the gameplay itself with other people or by yourself more enjoyable. First of all, they coulda easily added a level cap to this new event, easily, right? If you wanted to do a tier 10 or above, you have to be level 80 or 90 or 100 minimum to be able to do it. That easily stops leeching, because I played 2 attempts and I had a level 28 and a level 44 in my game. Like after that, we barely won, by the way. Like we somehow did win, but we barely won. It's one of those things where they could have easily added to avoid people complaining about leeching and about bots and all of that stuff. The game mode itself is kind of boring compared to the winter update. I'm not gonna say that the winter update was much better than this. In my opinion, the winter update was still kind of meh, because the stage took 40 minutes. The secrets were hard to get, especially taking 40 minutes for the event. But the game mode itself, the event, was much more interactive. You had the cards, you had 3 different paths. You couldn't take your eyes off the screen until like wave 50, when the boss appeared and you have all your units maxed out. That's like the only time you can actually take your eyes off the screen. So it was very interactive, very fun. But with this event, you have a boss with crazy amount of HP spawning at wave 2. You have to, it's 15 waves. You farm up, you place on your units, and that's basically it. It's just a regular game mode, which I was expecting a little bit more from an Anime Adventures event, right? I was expecting some other modifiers to be added, maybe like multiple paths, maybe a new type of boss that attacks units, but you know, something like that. You know, maybe take a page out of Anime Vanguard's books a little bit, you know, I don't know, make it a little bit different. But all they really added was just a tanky boss going around in circles until we like defeat it, which is okay, I guess. It just wasn't, it was pretty boring, I'm not gonna lie. It's just like, it's one of those game modes where if you do it too much, you're gonna get bored and you're gonna hop off, which I don't really like. But at that point, you know, what can you do, right? And the sad part is, after me like researching, is that most Anime Adventures updates, like before the shutdown occurred, most of their updates were very similar to this. You know, not many units, one new raid or legend stage or like event or something with a little bit of bug fixes, some quality of life, and that's it for AA update. You could say that since I play release, I can't be talking. Well, I talked to other people in the AV chat, and this is just factual information. It's not even opinion based, it's factual. Their updates were not, you know, they were up to the standard for AA back in 2023 and 2022, when it was only ASCD left, and they're up, and AA was like the only popular quote-unquote anime tower defense. But nowadays, we have Anime Vanguards and Anime Reborn. Let me just tell y'all what AV's update 2 was like, right? Because all of y'all say AV's trash, their updates are trash, they take too long, blah 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 blah. AA took 5 weeks for this and came out with 5 units, a new raid, and a new game mode with a bunch of quality life features. I'm gonna talk about that later as well. That's one of the positives that I actually liked about this update, but I'm gonna talk about that later. If we take into comparison the AV update 2, the Fate update, they added a new story mode, a new legend stage, new world lines, which is basically Infinity Castle with a whole new twist on it, very unique. I actually really liked the world lines. It was very fun, very interesting. 7 or maybe even 8, I think, more or less new units. That update took like many months, but in between that there was more updates, right? So we're talking about it like they had like 2-3 updates before that. Bunch of new quality of life features, and a bunch of new ways to get rerolls and ways to prepare yourself for the future updates. Every update that AV does, they don't just add content and that's it. They add content, but they also add ways to get essence stones, rerolls, gold, gems, the new material, ways to grind a bunch of stuff so that you're not just farming the content and you're done. You're doing the content, but then you're also doing side stuff whenever you're done with that, right? You can always do more in AV, which is amazing. Like, I really like that. And that's one of the other biggest issues with AA. They didn't add any new ways to add rerolls in this update. They had 5 weeks. They didn't add a single new way to add rerolls, which is very disappointing. I was expecting some new quests, maybe a chance to get rerolls from the new event or even raid, but they didn't. And it's just, the worst part is you need good traits to do the events, right? Even the raid, I didn't really try the raid. I did like 1 round. I got destroyed like wave 1. Wave 2, you need like, the boss comes out with crazy amounts of HP, but I think with like 6 people you can probably do it. With like 6 good people you can probably do it. But I'm mainly taking in the event, the contract event. They could have easily added some ways to get reels from that. Like, all they added was EXP and the contract token, which unless you're doing the hardest one, which I genuinely think you need I think you need 6 people, all with uniques, to be able to complete that. I'm assuming just off of the difficulty from like tier 6 or tier 7, because that's what I did. I did like a tier 6 or 7 and I barely completed it, and I have unique guts, unique siren, and divine dark mage. So I'm just imagining what tier 14 or tier 15 are looking like, right? But again, yeah, I'm just very disappointed because they could have easily added more reroll methods, and that's probably one of the biggest issues that AA has and has had, like, even before this update. So that's kind of disappointing. You know, despite all the flaws that was in this update in general, there were some positives that they did show in this update, which is the quality of life features which everybody was asking for. They added keybinds, finally, right? We don't have to just click, and keybinds are a very essential thing for a lot of people. I personally hated having to go click with my cursor on the upgrade button. It sucked. So we finally got keybinds, which is nice. We got unit takedowns, which is really good for evolving units. You can finally see how many takedowns they have, and you don't have to leave the game mode that you're in to go back to the lobby and check, oh, I need 50 more takedowns, let me go do it again, hopefully I got it again, yada yada yada. Just a very tedious activity to do. And then finally, it's to displaying the unit stats. I'm not gonna say finally, like, that's literally it, just those 3 things. There's a bunch of other stuff that they added, but I'm just gonna say the 3 things that I mainly realized that I, you know, kind of like. Displaying the unit stats is a mini thing that they added. It's all right. Nothing crazy, but I guess it's cool to have. But then the important features, like the biggest thing I was expecting, if they added this update would have been much better. Like, just this quality of life feature in general. They didn't add unit manager. Unit manager is like one of the most important things for this game, especially. All the units are so small when you place them down, and with every game mode you play in this game, you're gonna do it with more people. You're gonna do it with more than 1 person unless you have all uniques. So like, with all those units just bunched around together, you have to keep clicking individual ones each time, individual. Unit manager could have easily been introduced in this update, and it would have been amazing. I was going and I woke up, I didn't look at the update log at all. The first thing I did was just go into a story mode and see, did they add unit manager? All I saw was keybinds. And they didn't also add max range on placement, where you could see what the max range would be without actually having to max the unit out, which is huge. Again, for all these long game modes, you want to place them down strategically. For example, my guts, he's full AoE. I want to know how I can utilize guts' range to the max, but they didn't add that. And they also didn't add seamless retry. This, in my opinion, isn't really that important, but it's just something nice to have. I can honestly see why they didn't do it, to just avoid leeching even more. You know, it's just something I realized, but even if they didn't add that, it's not that important. The last 2 that I just said are probably the most important. I 100% would have recommended them add that, but they didn't. And if they didn't add it in this update, I genuinely don't know if they're gonna ever add it at all. So, and then the models. I don't have any of the units that got their models reskinned again. I'll probably put some up on screen right now of the ones that did get remodeled again. I don't know. They remodeled a bunch of new units, or a bunch of old units, to look even more broke and Timo like. People were calling it AA Animated Offenders version 2, which is crazy, but I mean, it's like, you can't deny it after looking at the models. I mean, it's just bad. They just don't look good, but you know, it's to be expected. They're gonna try to do everything in their power to not get copywritten again, so I guess it makes sense. But like, most of these don't look anything like the anime, but you know, what can we do? All we can do is just look at it, roast it, and then get on with our lives. So, and then the units. The next thing I want to talk about is the units. The units are actually really good. They're really meta. We had some full AoE hybrid burns from that Hunter x Hunter guy. We had the Sakamoto dude, the old dude. He's actually pretty strong. And then that one sword guy or girl, I forgot his name. I don't really know what Sakamoto is about. I've never watched the anime. I'm just going off the showcases that I've seen. That guy's pretty cool too. The units are pretty nice and actually decently meta. It's just the grind to get them is ridiculous. The grind to get them is absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, grinding the contract itself is wild because I did a tier 6 or tier 7. It was decently hard. It wasn't impossible. It was decently hard. I could have probably done it solo, but if you do it with more people, it's more safe and it's just less of a chance for you to fail. I got one single pull from that. It took like 10 minutes and I got one single from that. And you might be thinking, okay, how much do you get from the last one then? You get around like 2.5 10 pulls from the last tier, which is hard as hell. I'm assuming. I haven't checked it out. I'm assuming it's hard as hell. And the mythic pity is 200 and the mythic chance is 0.5, which is regular. And one thing that I didn't even mention is that there is a timer for each of these contracts. So I'm gonna put the screenshot up right now. So even if you do the last tier, which let's just say tier 14, I think that's the one I'm gonna take a screenshot of anyways. Even if you do it, there's a timer on it. You can't even do it more than once in that same time span. You have to wait. In my case, the one I'm taking a screenshot of, you have to wait 4 hours and 30 minutes to do it again. Like it's crazy. Like genuinely, what were they thinking with this? I don't know. They might have done it to prevent leeching. Probably. I'm gonna just guess that's what they were trying to do. They did this, but they didn't even add like a level restriction to the contracts. I don't know why they didn't add a level restriction. Yeah, grinding for the units is definitely very hard. If you are a huge fan of Sakamoto and you just love every character in the anime and you just want to get them badly, then prepare yourselves for a hell of a grind, unless you get blessed with RNG and you get super lucky. So yeah, hope y'all the best for that, I guess. I don't know. And then overall, my opinions on the updates. Update was just not the greatest. I was in this video, I usually try to say a split between good and bad in my opinions on updates. There was just not a lot of good and a whole lot of bad. It's just what it is. The units were good, some quality of life features were good. They added some new UI changes, which I guess is cool, but just the main part is the update quality, the content. The map was also really nice. I didn't mention that. The map was really nice. The new map was very nice. They did a good job with that. But the update content itself and the time it took for the update, just not it. It was just not worth it. And it's just sad that previous updates from AA were very similar to this. It's just many people were blinded by, you know, the thought of AA being like a holy grail of anime tower defense games, that these types of updates were what everybody was glazing, and they were still glazing until this update dropped. I don't know if people are still coping and saying that this update's peak. Me personally, I just don't think this update was the greatest. Y'all can enjoy it. I'm not gonna say that this update was like horrible, never touch this game ever again. I still really like this game. It's just the update was just not the greatest, and I'm hoping that the next update is better. But if the update is of the same quality and content as this one, Anime Adventures will be in a tough position. That's all I'm gonna say. They have to add more content in these updates, right? Because it's like 5 weeks for an update of this size. Nobody can ever diss Anime Vanguards ever again. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody can ever diss Anime Vanguards ever again. But yeah, I'm gonna just stop my yapping. That's about it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts of this update and what y'all think of it. If y'all did like it, if y'all didn't like it, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Peace.